Richician.
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and welcome to Q&A number 4. And there are so many questions for this week's episode. I would split it into 2 parts, but it's just easier for me to do it all in one video. So let's not waste any more time and kick it off. First 2 questions are from John Cross. Actually 3. My favourite card is Dark Magician. What is your favourite Yu-Gi-Oh card? Bruh, do you not know who I am and what channel you're on? You've been subscribed to me for a few years now. How do you not know that my favourite card is Dark Magician? Everyone should know this by now. This knowledge is part of Yu-Gi-Oh folklore. Anyway, next question. Do you run any super polarizations in any of your decks? Yes, I do. I play it in most of my hero decks. I play it in Elemental Heroes, Rainbow Neos, Elemental Hero Divine Neos, and I've even played it in Random All-Stars and Summon Skull as well. Although it is also a side deck option for my Dark Magician deck, because I've got Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, Predaplant Dracostapelia, and the 3k Predaplant monster that needs 3 dark monsters on the field, Trip something. I can't remember the name of it. The Predaplant monsters are so hard to pronounce. Duel request, Dark Magician versus Poker Knights. Okay, why is everyone making a request with a deck that's not even complete yet? I'm pretty sure I did say when I did the rules of during the request duel reintroduction video that I can only use decks that are actually active. And again, I guess it's kind of my fault. Maybe I didn't completely specify which decks can and can't be used in requests. I feel like I should have also said that incomplete decks can't be used. I mean, I can do it, but you'll have to wait until the deck's finished. But yeah, for future reference, everyone, if you're gonna leave a request for the request duel segment, make sure you're only making requests with decks that are actually active and nothing that is either inactive or incomplete. That would be great. Thank you. Then the next 3 questions are from Chris Reinhardt. I forgot to mention that 2 of the questions that I've been given in this video will require long answers. So yeah, I should have said this at the start. Grab a lot of food and drink, because this is going to be a long one. Anyway, question 1. You said in a past video that you were ashamed of building Dark Magic Swarm. Why were you ashamed of it? Well, it's because of 2 reasons, really. 1, I built it for all the wrong reasons, and 2, the deck was an absolute failure. I mean, on paper, it seemed like a good idea, but in practice, it wasn't great. So, yeah, the whole thing with Dark Magic Swarm all started 12 years ago, more specifically all the way back in the late spring and the summer of 2009. The the 2009 formats were a couple of the worst formats ever, at least for me. I was on some really bad losing streaks, both in tournament play and casual play, especially when I'd face almost nothing but macro gladiator beasts, both of which were my two most hated decks in the game at the time, light swarms and monarchs. I remember I was using Prismagician as my Dark Magician deck incarnation at the time, and it just wasn't working out. Like, ever since the Synchro era began, it was just getting harder and tougher for me to be able to consistently top 8 in my mate Derek's Pharaoh's Elite tournaments anymore. The game had already changed when Dark Armed Dragon came into the game, and just when I stepped up my game, everyone else stepped up theirs, and I was even losing to players who I could normally beat. Anyway, going back to the losing streak, I was getting so fed up and frustrated that I gave up on the deck and then basically turned to meta, like in a moment of weakness and frustration. It was like, I just wanted to win more games and get out of this losing streak. Like, I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to win, and I feel like that was the only time in my Yu-Gi-Oh life that I really felt like I was taking the game far too seriously and allowed the meta to corrupt me. So yeah, anyway, I turned to meta, and obviously I was not gonna play Gladiator Beasts and Monarchs, because they're two decks that even to this day I still hate with a fucking passion. But Light Swarms, on the other hand, were a competitive deck that I genuinely did like. So I decided to play them, but at the same time I didn't want to toss Dark Magician aside, because, you know, my favourite card and ace monster. So I came up with the idea of Dark Magic Swarm. Now, some might say it might have been easier to just play a proper Light Swarm deck or Twilight, but I didn't. But I generally prefer not to copy what other people are doing. I'd much rather do my own thing, and in this case I wanted to do something different and original. Of course, it didn't matter what variant of Light Swords I went with, because there was just one problem. See, at the time, Judgment Dragon, Honest and Charge of the Light Brigade were far too expensive and too difficult for me to get. And back then I couldn't get expensive, highly rare cards as easily as I can nowadays. I was able to get everything else, but I just had trouble getting those cards. And the other problem was I was impatient. Like, I didn't want to wait to get hold of them, so I tried to play some alternative cards that I could use to try and compensate. Didn't really work out though, because the problem was there wasn't really any budget alternatives for those three cards back then. Yeah, as a result, like, it just didn't solve anything. like I was still having the same bullshit bad luck, and I was losing most of my games and getting annoyed and frustrated, and I still wasn't making top 8. And looking back, I feel like this annoyance and frustration just bothered my friends and my girlfriend at the time. She didn't say anything about it, but there were times where I could tell that it bothered her. Like, on average, I was mainly winning just 2 rounds, and that was it. There were 2, of course, where I only won 1 match, though. In fact, in one of them, I had a bye win, and all the rest of my games were losses. Although, interestingly, I was given a top 8 spot by default, because a lot of the other players dropped out because I believe they had to go. Okay, so I did top 8 once, but it wasn't worth it because I lost horribly against a Blackwing deck, and then in the other one where I only won 1 match, it was just one of those bullshit tournaments ever. Like, I lost 1 match because I was given a wrong ruling about Lumina and Book of Moon. Like, I was told that if I activated Lumina's effect and then Book of Moon was chained to flip her down, the effect would fizzle. But then I found out later on that this was a completely wrong ruling. The real ruling was, even if something is chained in that situation to make Lumina leave the field or flip her down, the effect would have still gone off, which means that I could have turned one of those duels around and maybe even won the duel and even the match. And then there was another match that I should have won, but I made a stupid misplay because I didn't activate Secret Village in a situation that would have helped me, because I was playing against a variant of Demise OTK called Gears of Demise, and if I'd have played Secret Village, then Demise wouldn't have come out and my field wouldn't have been wiped. But yeah, because I didn't play it, it just cost me the game and the match. Yeah, really frustrating. I did, of course, get 1 Judgment Dragon, and a play set of Honest and 2 copies of Charge of the Light Brigade, but it didn't really make much difference, although I did enter a tag team tournament with the deck, and I actually finished 2nd in it, along with my tag partner Blue, playing generic spellcasters. We only lost 1 match, but we beat everyone else. So this was arguably the best that the deck ever did in a tournament by far. But then after that, there was another normal one, which was just a complete flop, and that was the final straw. Once again, I only won 2 matches and lost all the others. My wins were against Dark Stall, played by another old friend of mine, Dan the Man. Yeah, that was the first time I met him and went up against that deck. My other win was against Blue with generic spellcasters. My losses were against 2 Gladiator Beast decks, one of which was playing D-Fissure, and I was like, oh great, a mixture of my 2 most hated decks. And then the other match was against a light deck, where I learnt the hard way how 2 opposing Honests work, because before then I used to think that if an opposing Honest is dropped and I chained my Honest, then the first Honest still resolves and makes that light monster bigger still. I even remember my opponent kind of annoying me by saying, "Do you know how Honest works?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do," but clearly I didn't. So yeah, it wasn't what he said, it was just how he said it that just really annoyed me. And yeah, after that failure, like I said, that was the final straw, and I just scrapped the deck and gave up on it for good, and went back to Prismagician. And just looking back, I wish I'd never made that deck. Like, that's basically why I'm so ashamed of it. Like, so again, I made it for all the wrong reasons, because again, in a moment of weakness, I let the meta corrupt me, get the better of me, and just end up taking the game too seriously, and it just didn't work, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It didn't solve any of the issues I was having. And that's all there is to say about it, really. In fact, this experience with Dark Magic Sworn is exactly one of the reasons why I don't and won't play meta. It's not just because I find meta decks to be annoying, boring and unoriginal, like, no offence to anyone, but they really are, at least in my opinion, but also because I don't want that experience to ever happen again. So I'd much rather stick with fun original decks and stick with what I know. Of course, that being said about this experience though, I did bring the deck back for 3 guest appearances for some special events I did on my channel a while back. Like, a year afterwards, I used it in an endurance and won 1 game with it, and then in March 2012 I was doing a Dark Magician month where I was playing all the different incarnations of Dark Magician that I'd made up to that point. I was playing them in casual games and tournaments throughout the month, and when it came to Dark Magic Sworn, I played it in a tournament and actually did really well. Like, I made top 4 only to lose to Infernities, played by Billsy, and I was like, that's great, why couldn't I have done this well 3 years previously? So this was the second best that the deck had ever done. Like, first, if we're only counting normal tournaments, and then the third and final time, which was the last time I used it, was back in 2014, where it was doing a year of Dark Magician celebration thing, celebrating 10 years since I first started playing Dark Magician in a deck. And I was playing all the different incarnations in tournaments during that year, but apart from Dark Magic Lockdown, of course, which is the other variant of Dark Magician that I'm ashamed of and regret building and wish I'd never played, but that's a story for another time. And unfortunately, when it came to this particular tournament, the bad luck I had 5 years previously came back, where I only won 2 rounds and lost all the others. I won against Store Wings and some Synchro deck, but I lost against Fire Kings Tellarknights and Malefics of all things. Now I know what some of you are thinking, and I thought the same way back then. How the hell did I lose against Malefics with light swords? Well, here's how. It was down to bullshit bad luck, skill drain, and stupid end of match procedure. See, what happened was I won game 1 with no problems whatsoever. Game 2 I got stuck behind Malefic Cyber End Dragon, Mound of the Bound Creator, and Skill Drain, and I just wasn't drawing any backrow removal, and like, it was so bad. Like, I had to stall with Colossal Fighter and Necro Gardener, but the problem with stalling behind Colossal Fighter was that every time it got destroyed by battle, Mound would inflict 1,000 points of damage to me, and in the end my life points got too low to survive any more attacks, so I had to scoop. And by the time game 3 started, like, time on the round had been called, so I took turn 1. Turn 2, my opponent once again got out Malefic Cyber End Dragon, but had a different field spell. I don't remember what it was, but I know it wasn't Mound of the Bound Creator. So he did a load of damage to me. Come my turn, I looked at my hand, and I had a way to make Starleash Paladynamo and use his effect to reduce Malefic Cyber End's attack to 0, but I would have only been able to inflict 2,000 points of damage, and my life points would have still been lower, and I was just trying desperately to think of another way to try and get my life points higher, but it was difficult. And it also didn't help that one of the other players was going, "Oh, hurry up," and to which I angrily replied, "I'm thinking!" But there was just nothing, so I had to scoop. I was so annoyed, unhappy and salty about that one, not gonna lie. Also didn't help that throughout the day I was feeling miserable and heartbroken, because before the tournament my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, and gave me no explanation why. But again, that's another story which I don't want to talk about, like, ever. But as for Dark Magic Sworn, that was the final straw. Like, even though I wasn't playing it as my main incarnation of Dark Magician, like, I made a vow to never ever play Dark Magic Sworn or any other variant of Light Sworns ever again. They just failed me far too much and caused me nothing but grief. Which brings me to your next question. 2. Would you ever consider building a version of Light Sworns outside your Light Ray deck? They're not meta anymore, and they can be a really fun deck. Well, to that I say, fuck no. Like, again, I am never playing a Light Sworn deck again. Not after the bullshit that Dark Magic Sworn put me through. For the record, Light Rays are not technically a variant of Light Sworns. Like, it's the deck is still Light Rays, but it just has Light Sworns in it, not the other way round. But the only reason I'm using Light Sworns in that deck, and will use them in my Legendary Knights deck, which is a deck that I decided I wanted to play, is because it's the only way I can make the deck work. Because unfortunately, without light swarms, they just don't work very well. I mean, there is also Card Trooper and Needlebug Nest, but it's not enough. Like, if I had my way, I wouldn't play them at all, but I kind of have to. In fact, this is like one of the reasons why I want Light Rays to get more support. I want them to get support that's so good, not too good though, but so good that they don't need to rely on Light Swords or another archetype to work. But yeah, other than that, it got to the point where I now hate Light Swarms, but not in the same way that I hate other decks that I hate. I mean, usually, if I hate a deck, it's because it does nothing but either OTK, lock a deck down, or both FTK, or is a troll deck. But no, with Light Swarms it's different. Like, regarding an actual deck, like, I hate Light Swarms because clearly they hate me and Dark Magician and just don't want to cooperate. So I think the experience with Dark Magic Swarm just goes to show that me, Dark Magician and Light Swarms just don't mix, along with the fact that me and Meta just don't mix. Anyway, let's carry on with the other questions. I told you there'd be a long answer. 3. I really enjoy the idea of one copy per card decks Highlander that I got from you. I believe they can really challenge someone to be creative in their deck building instead of just throwing 3 copies of a deck's core into a deck with other decks. Would you and the team ever consider a tournament where everyone uses a Highlander deck? Now that is an excellent idea, and I absolutely agree with you. I think that would be a really fun idea. I'll be sure to run it by the others, see what they think. Oh, and thanks for that comment, by the way, where you said, thanks for the awesome content, keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Next questions are from Express Gaming. 1. If Terminators were real and one was sent back in time to kill you, do you reckon you would be able to survive? I'd like to think I could, although it might be difficult avoiding the firepower from whatever weapon it's using. But other than that, I should be able to. I mean, it shouldn't be difficult running and hiding from it, even going as far as to just completely go off the grid so that no one can find me. 2. Have you ever been bitten by a hamster before? I don't think I have. Mind you, it's been many years since I've had a pet hamster. No, I don't believe I ever have been bitten by one. 3. Any bugs in the insect world? You do not mind one bit at all. I mean, I don't mind the red ladybirds or the black ants. Red ants, though, can fuck right off. They're nasty. I guess maybe crickets and grasshoppers, perhaps, but other than that, I just don't like bugs or any creepy crawlies at all. Especially wasps, hornets, and horseflies. Like, they can fuck right off. They're just nasty motherfuckers with just no purpose to existing other than to just be pests that need exterminating. Yeah, there's just no point to them at all. Alright, fair enough, wasps do kill slugs, and slugs are a problem when they eat fruit and vegetables that people are trying to grow, but surely there must be something else that can get rid of slugs, right? I mean, I'm no nature animal creature expert thing, but surely there's got to be another way other than the existence of wasps. Just saying. 4. Are you brave enough to hold my pet snake Rose one day? She's a really good girl and won't bite at all. Like, we talked about this like 1 or 2 times. Like, I've already said that I don't want to hold her and that I don't like snakes. Last time we talked about this, I did specifically say that I'm scared of them. Like, not as scared as my mum though. Like, I mean, I'm fine with watching them on TV or in a YouTube video or looking at them in a zoo. But other than that, unless they're contained, like, I don't want to be anywhere near them, and I sure as hell don't want to even touch them, yet alone hold them. Like, no disrespect, but snakes are one of those creatures that I don't trust at all. Like, people can say what they like about them, but I just don't want to be anywhere near them unless they're contained. So, yeah, so with all due respect, please respect my wishes and stop trying to make me do things that I don't want to do. 5. Duel request. Your boss ships, I think you mean boss rush, deck versus your small spaceship deck. Again, you broke the rules. I don't have my boss rush deck anymore. Like, I got rid of it ages ago. I'm pretty sure I sorted it out to Brian. I don't even think he has. I don't know whether or not he has it anymore. But either way, I haven't physically got the deck anymore. And again, like I said in the rules, like, if I or anyone else don't have the deck, then we can't do it. I feel like I need to sort out the rules regarding the quest duels. As I feel like I wasn't completely specific about what can and can't be used for a request, along with the fact that people keep breaking the rules. And as for the small spaceship deck, like, that's been put away in a binder. I mean, I could bring it out, but again, I don't have my boss rush deck anymore. The only way I'd be able to do it is if I arranged something on Edo Pro. 6. Duel request. Your Magician Girls versus George's Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck. Well, that's also one that can't be done because, for one thing, Magician Girls are put away in a binder, and George also put his Chaos Max decks away in a binder, and he doesn't seem to have all the cards for it, as far as I could tell. I mean, regarding decks that are put away in binders, like, they are inactive decks. I mean, I can take them out and use them in a request, but it's just really inconvenient because I've got to take all the cards out, and then after they've been played in one match, I've got to put them back in again, which is an absolute pain in the arse. So it's just easier to use decks that are actually active, and I did make a list in the video description of the request reintroduction video where I've listed all the active decks that I have, and you have, and the others have. Next question's from A Carter 51. Will we ever get a Battle Royal duel ever again? Yes, I will try and make that happen. I know it has been a while. I genuinely do want Battle Royale duels to happen again. There just hasn't really been a moment to. I mean, yeah, we've had them on Skype, or at least me, Express Gaming and Wyvern Watch. But it's just not the same as playing in person. So I do want to make that happen. In fact, I'm surprised actually that whenever I hang out at Express Gaming's and Gamer Central's place, we don't have any three-way battle royals. Maybe we should. And I do want to start up the Dead Universe Comics Raw Rumbles again. We've just been kind of preoccupied. I mean, obviously there won't be time to do one tomorrow night because there's another tournament on. But we'll try and make that happen. Like, we're working on it. It's gonna happen. That next question is from Wyvern Watch. New Dark Magician support. Initial thoughts, if you please. New Karibo. Oh, you know me, just like McDonald's, I'm loving it! When I first heard about it, I said, okay, is this what we're getting in the Megatins? But no, it's like another main series set with more Dark Magician support. What was it? Battles of Chaos, I think it is. I'm excited, which is not surprising because big Dark Magician fan. I mean, I know a lot of the player base is sick and tired of Dark Magician and Blue Eyes getting more support, and that they want support for other things. Like, I feel you. I understand. Like, it is repetitive, but like, I'm a Dark Magician fan and a player. I'm too biased towards Dark Magician support, and we get a freaking Karibo dressed like Dark Magician. Like, who can say no to that? It's just awesome. I love all the new cards. I don't know about the one that searches out Magical Dimension though. I actually forgot what else it does. Like, it's cool, but the problem is I haven't played Magical Dimension in my Dark Magician deck for 5 years because there hasn't been a reason to. Maybe if I have room for this guy, that could change. We'll see. I also like that Timaeus is a monster card now, and with it, there's no need to actually play the Eye of Timaeus anymore. I mean, I can, but it's just a free special summon. But let me just look at Illusion of Chaos. I'll try and find the images in the group chat. And there's that bloody siren again. Oh, do I need to scroll a bit further? So, bear with me. I should have been better prepared for this. Where is it? Wow. Big Yugi Chuba being a dick looking at his phone while doing a video. Where is it? sorry about this, guys. Like, I'm almost there. Like, I'm on Friday the 13th. Where is it? I'm almost there. God, where the hell is it? Oh, here we are. Yes, here we are. I can actually look at them properly now. I feel like Magic Aribo will be a free of. Yeah, here it is, Dimension Conjurer. If it's sent from the monster zone to the GUI, draw cards equal to the number of spellcasters you control. Then place the same number of cards from your hand on top of the deck in any order. Okay, so maybe I will. I don't know. Yeah, Timaeus, the Dragon of Destiny. Like, it's just easier to use than the Eye of Timaeus. Just sending a spellcaster or spell or trap that lists Dark Magician in the text from hand or field to the grave. Like it's not a brick. Unless, of course, I don't have those kinds of cards in hand. Yeah, I'm excited. And then there's Illusion of Chaos, which so many players are excited for. Like, I like it as well. I mean, yeah, it does unbrick my hard, but it is also an extender. Like, I love that first effect. So all I gotta do is just simply reveal it and add Dark Magician or a non-ritual monster that lists Dark Magician. Like, oh yeah, and then I've got to stack a card, hence the Mahard bit. That's okay. If I'm about to draw it with something else, or use Circle. So yes, finally we get a monster. Get a card that searches out the monsters that list Dark Magician in the description. Like, actually, no. If I grab Rod with this, then it doesn't matter what I put on top. That's easily a free of. I don't know if I'll play the fusion though. Oh wait, I actually absolutely should, because obviously there's a plan to play the ritual. Then there's that field spell to basically grab Eternal Soul from the deck and set it. Like, I'm excited for that. I thought it was a continuous spell at first, but nah, it's a field spell. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And in fact, what was it, today or yesterday? It was confirmed that Dark Magician is a Starlight rare in that set. So, yeah, I'm going to get a whole case of the set for myself. Unless, of course, someone's willing to go halves on me and doesn't want the Dark Magician stuff. Because otherwise, like, if me and whoever I go halves on are after the same cards, it's going to be really difficult for both of us to get what we need, like, which is an issue that me and Express Gaming had when we opened those 9 boxes of Dark Illusion. So yeah, I want to get a whole case all for myself, and hopefully I'll get the Starlight Rare Dark Magician, but just in case I don't, I'm going to have to save up a load of money to get that for my Dark Magician collection as well. So I'm trying to think. Cases are about £650, I think, maybe a bit more. I can't remember the exact price. I also anticipate that the Starlight Rare will probably be like £600 to £800, maybe even almost £1,000, like basically round about the same as the Ghost Rare. So in case I don't pull the Starlight Rare Dark Magician from the case, like, no pun intended, I anticipate that I'll probably need about £1,650 to set aside, which basically changes everything regarding other things I want to get. So like, I'm gonna have to abandon the idea of getting boxes of Dawn of Majesty and Burst of Destiny and just get singles from there, and maybe even get singles from the Megatins this year, which is awkward because I said that I'd get the tins, but I don't know how many. Like, I mean, it depends on whether or not the Dark Magician and Blue Eye support will be guaranteed promos, or whether they're part of the set. I mean, if they're promos, I'll get a couple of tins, but if they're not guaranteed, I'm gonna have to just not get any tins this year and just buy the singles, or try and trade for them, because like I said before, I hate buying singles. Like, I'd much rather trade for them. So yeah, that's the new plan. And then I've got 2 more questions from Chris Reinhardt. Watched your Blue Eyes deck profile on the team's channel and thought of a couple of questions, which is fine, by the way. I don't think I mentioned this before, but there's no limit, by the way, to how many questions you can ask. Okay, you can ask me as many questions as you want. Just to clarify, 1. Would you ever consider dropping Dragon's Mirror and Burial from a different dimension for 2 ultimate creatures to help give your Blue Eyes monster some protection or not? Well, I thought about adding Ultimate Creature of Destruction, but I just wasn't sure. Like, it's kind of difficult to fit it in with other cards I want to fit in, and I don't really want to drop Dragon's Mirror and Burial from a different dimension, because Dragon's Mirror is the easiest way to bring out any of the ultimate dragon forms, whereas Burial is handy for putting back Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, so I can bring them back with Monster Reborn or Return of the Dragon Lords. Either that, or I might want to recycle Whitestone of Ancients, so I can use the Banish effect again to add back Blue Eyes. I mean, I don't know, maybe I can live without Burial, but Dragon's Mirror is something I can't really do without. And question 2, with Blue Eyes also getting new support, would you ever consider building a different version of Blue Eyes? No. I'd much rather stick with the pure build, because I don't want to change it into like a Chaos Max variant, or like anything that spits out Hope Harbinger, a number 97 and Numeron Dragons, because that's not I don't want to go down that path. Like, I'd much rather play the pure build of Blue Eyes, where I'm actually physically using the Blue Eyes monsters themselves to win, like, and not rely on spell negation or OTK power and the Chaos Max incantation creature swap combo. So the plan is to just simply get the new support and just fit it into the deck and still play the pure build, because, well, I like it the way it is. And the last 7 questions, sorry, are from Alison Orlowski. I think I said that right. I'm really sorry if I butchered your name. This is Matthew Welch's wife. I'm also a big fan of your channel and Team Sorcerers. Thank you very much. 1. Do you know a good build for Dark Magician with the new support that you will be running? I don't have anything figured out yet. I haven't worked out what ratios I want to go with, but I'll have something figured out nearer the time. I mean, the plan is, after getting the case and hoping I get everything, is that I just try and get free of everything and then just see what I can do from there, as well as of course as get bits for my Dark Magician card collection. Can't forget about that. I mean, I've got a rough idea though. 2. Out of all your collections that you have, which one is your favourite out of all of them? I would say my favourite 3 of yours are your Yugi and Jaden character deck collections, as well as your hero card collection, due to the fact that I am a hero player and fan as well, with Elemental Heroes being one of my 4 ace signature and favourite decks, with Harpy Lady, Cyber Angels and Rose Dragons. That's a tough one. It's a tie between my Yugi character deck collection, my top 10 favourite card collection, and my Dark Magician collection. In fact, of all the collections I have, my Dark Magician collection is the one that I'm the most proud of, as unless I'm mistaken, I'm the only Yu-Gi-Oh fan who has at least 1 copy of every TCG print of Dark Magician that we've ever had. I mean, there's probably someone else, but I can't think of anyone. And I like to think that makes that collection unique. Of course, it's gonna hurt my wallet getting the Starlight Red Dark Magician, that's for sure. 3. I'm currently thinking about building a Karibo deck when the Karibo Bros come out to the TCG. Oh yeah, that's something else I might have to just get the singles from and put off buying a box of. Damn it! Because if I put off buying the products I was going to get, it means the more money I have to spare, then the easier it'll be to get the case. Anyway, back to the question. Do you have any suggestions on a good build for them? Any opinion will be a huge help. This is a tough one for me, because I myself have never played a Karibo deck. I mean, the closest I've ever played is my Sky Scourge Karibo deck. I've never played one focused on the Karibo monsters themselves, so it's hard for me to help. I mean, I'm assuming that 3 each of original Karibo, Wing Karibo, plus Flutes would be a big help. Depending on how many of the light Karibo monsters you want to play, then BLS and Envoy of the Beginning and Chaos Emperor Dragon would be a big help, obviously. Other than that, it's really hard to say. I guess maybe play 2 or 3 of the new Karibo cards that will come out in Brothers of Legend. I don't know. See, I feel bad because I don't think I've been much help at all with this one. That's the best I can think of. I mean, obviously if I've got any other ideas, then I can reply to your comment here and let you know. 4. What do you think about the current shortage of materials to make Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Do you think this could impact releases in the future? well, there is a possibility that that might happen. I actually forgot about this, to be fair. I don't even know how this even happened. It is very unfortunate. I mean, at least we are getting some kind of date for products, even though they keep getting pushed back. It's just an absolute pain in the arse for players that want to get the products and or get specific cards. In fact, I swear, if Battles of Chaos, the Dark Magician set, get pushed back, I will be so fucking mad, believe me. I'm not too bothered about the other sets that have been pushed back, but obviously if Battles of Chaos get pushed back, oh boy, that will be infuriating for me. It could have a negative impact. I mean, I doubt people will quit the game over it, but even so, the player base would be really pissed off. But I just, I don't know, I hope Konami can sort it out and resolve the issue. But we'll just have to bear with them on that. 5. Do you think we'll get an anime that focuses on speed duels, since Japan has one for rush duels? I don't know. I mean, it's unlikely, but it would be cool to see and would be quite refreshing. I don't even know if they'd focus on older cards or just new cards we haven't seen before. But it would be interesting to see, most definitely. 6. Are you excited about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX finally coming to speed duels? Also, will you be building an elemental hero deck for speed duels, despite the extra deck limit being extremely small? Yes and yes! I'm very excited about this. And it does make me excited for speed duels again. As I even said to my friends a few times that if Yu-Gi-Oh! GX cards ever came to speed duels, I'm building speed duel elemental hero decks. It's gonna happen. I don't care if there's a limited extra deck. I cannot wait to use the classic elemental heroes in speed duels. Preferably Flame Wingman and Shining Flare Wingman. They'll be the ace monsters, most definitely. And the final question of this almost hour-long Q&A episode, 7. Do you think we will get a reprint of Elemental Hero Air Neos in the GX Speed Duel box? Wait, there's a GX Speed Duel box? Okay, somebody please tell me more about this. I don't know. It's not. I'm gonna predict that Konami might want to focus on cards from Season 1 and then worry about Season 2 later, including the Neospatians and their fusions. But I hope we'll get a reprint of it. As like I said before, it's just an absolute piss take that Air Neos has never ever been reprinted. Why? Why won't you reprint Air Neos, Konami? It's been 14 years since its one and only print. Just give the player base what they want. It's just going to be difficult for everyone to play a completely pure build of Neospatians. Honestly, why Air Neos never got reprinted is just beyond me. Not even in Legendary Collection 2 or Raw Mega Pack. hopefully it will happen. I don't know for sure if it will, but I'm hopeful. Woo! And that is it. This has to be the longest Q&A episode I have ever filmed. But that's okay though. It's been an absolute blast answering these questions. So yeah, thank you very much for your guys' questions. I am just going to refresh it real quick and make sure I haven't missed anything that's been put in at the last minute. Because obviously I don't want to leave anyone out. Sorry. Oh, wait, here we are. And it doesn't look like it's set to newest first. Sorry guys, my internet's a little bit slow. Like, it's just so crap where I am. This is where I just lose connection now. Oh no, here we are. Nope, all good. So yeah, thanks very much for your guys' questions, and again, if you've got any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments section down below. Remember, I do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon UK time, so be sure to get your questions in before then, so that you don't miss out. Thanks again, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.